Well, hello again. Welcome back for more CPM exploration, learning. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, so we're going to figure it out stuff with a C128, and this time an Ultimate cart, so I can save a lot of time writing disk images, because that takes like 15 minutes, so the Ultimate cart will greatly speed things up, and we'll probably use the Pi 1541 a tiny bit. It doesn't fully work in CPM, but you can use it as a non-boot drive in 1541 mode only. So that'll not be super useful, but it will help a little bit. So here, let's get to it. I have a dual capture set up, so on the left obviously is the 80 column, on the right is the 40 column, so we're going to need both of those to kind of get going. So I guess first and foremost, to use a 1581 in CPM is a little weird because you can't just freeze the machine and pop the 40 column display back up and get into the configuration screen. So here, let's pop over here for a moment. This wonderful person, I think I've seen this guy on Facebook actually, now that I look at his name. Xander is very active in the 128 community and all that good stuff, and he put together the CPM UTools, and it's excellent what he's done here. Great documentation and everything else. This is going to greatly save us time and aggravation. So you can go to this page. I'll put a link in the description, but it's pretty self-explanatory how to get it going in here. Here are some configuration options that need to be turned on before these tools will work. And basically you want to enable the REU and the command interface. That is very, very important because that's how this wonderful program actually talks to the Ultimate cart. Optionally, you can turn on set date, and you can drag the date from the Ultimate cart and put it into the CPM operating system. With this UTime tool, Umount will let you change what is connected, what image is connected to each floppy, and you config. I guess we'll do some things with the configuration of the cart. I don't know. We're just going to tear in and figure it out. Basically, it's 3 files, and it generates a config the first time you use it, and it will save that back as well. So that is what we're initially going to be running on the Pi 1541 because it does come in a D64 image as well as a D81, and it'll just make our lives a little easier having those tools on a third drive because we're going to set drives A and B or 8 and 9 as 1581s to get the most storage we possibly can. So I'm not going to read you all his documentation here, but it's absolutely wonderful, well laid out, well done, awesome work, dude. Much appreciated. So without any further bullshittery, let's just get into it and get this thing booted up. Alright, so let's get into it here. First, we need to mount some images. So I've taken the liberty of putting a few images on the USB stick that's plugged into the Ultimate cart, and I'll post these somewhere for download. I mean, the CPM tools just go directly to the GitHub repo. Some of these other ones are slightly more unique. So ZPM is available for download in the 16 megabyte REU version, which is what we're going to use. If you're using a different sized REU, you need to hex edit the disk in order to properly speak with that size of REU. So I have a 16 meg version and a 512K version because, let's face it, you either have a 512K real REU or you're using something like the Ultimate cart and you're going to use the biggest size you can anyway. We'll talk about the other discs maybe later, but anyway, here we're going to mount that on 8, and then this is just a blank image that we're going to mount on 9. Yeah. Alright, so now that we have that, we can bail out of here and boot the system. This is going to take a few minutes, so we'll cut here and be right back. Alright, we're finally booted. It takes about 2 minutes to copy all that stuff to the RAM drive and boot up and everything, but Yeah, well worth it. And now that it's all on a RAM drive, I bet we can save that RAM drive image, so it won't have to do that on every boot. So, all that to say, let's check out drive A or 8, whatever you want to call it. He works. Go to the B drive. This should just be a blank disk image. And it is, so we have like a work drive, and C should be our Pi 1541 with that D64 mounted with the tools on it. And it is. So I don't want to have to rely on the Pi for pretty much anything, because it is a little bit unstable when it comes to CPM. It's not supposed to work at all. So being that we can actually mount a disk image and read from it is great. I don't know if writing works. So I want to copy that stuff off of there. The problem is the ZPM boot disk is 100% full. And I'm going to want these tools on the boot disk so they will copy to the RAM drive with everything else. It'll come up pretty quick. So we're going to have to go through and delete some stuff off of this disk in order to make some room. There's some things on here I frankly just don't care about, like the juggler program, jugg.com there in the second column. That's a tool for manipulating disk formats and everything else that I don't think I really care about. If I really need it, I'll put it back on there later. So I'll probably trash that out of there. MBasic probably don't need on the boot disk. If I'm going to do basic stuff, I'll work it off, the B drive. I'll create a basic disk to put various versions of basic stuff I'm going to save on there, things like that. So I want to pare this down more to be an operating system than anything else, on the A drive. Rogue, I think that's a game. So yeah, there's a bunch of stuff on here we can get rid of. Trans 128, that's another one, 24K. That'll get us a bunch of real estate. And that's for transferring files back and forth between, native 128 disk modes and CPM disk formats. I'm not going to need that. So I'm going to go through and clean up this disk image a bit, free us up some space. I'll probably leave the 1571 tool. That could come in handy if we're going to use that drive at some point. The format tools, those need to stay. But yeah, there's a bunch of crap on here I can trash off of here and make us some room. So I'm gonna go clean that stuff up and be back momentarily. Alright, we should have some breathing room now. Scrolled off the screen already, but the first stuff that was deleted was that disk juggler stuff and the other stuff we talked about. Calc.com is some fancy scientific calculator that can go on an app disk later. Don't need it on the OS drive. Like I said, same with the basic stuff. So now, if we take a look, we should have some free space on this floppy disk. What do we have? So we have 140K free. So if you do the math, 480K used on A0 sys and only 140K free out of 790. That's because there is an A1 drive, which is called root, and that has all the stuff that's copied on boot off to the RAM drive. So there's our other stuff. There's a couple other partitions or folders, directories. I don't really know the right nomenclature for CPM on this disk. There's a temp and archive are A2 and A3, I think, and there's nothing in them. They're just empty. So we won't worry too much about that right now. So now that we have 140K free, we can go to our Pi 1541. This stuff should be there. Oh, we're on C1. That's interesting. So being that I was on A1 and just typed C:, it went to C1. It didn't go to C0:. All right. So it remembers which subdrive you're on. Again, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I don't know if that's the right word for it, but here's our 3 ultimate tools. So let's copy star.com to A1 because everything in A1 gets copied to RAM drive on boot. Yeah, see, the Pi is extraordinarily slow. Basically, it's running in 1541 GCR mode. It's not accelerated in any way at all. And being that it's going through the 8502 side and the C128, native mode kernel for the kernel calls, it's just shit slow. I mean, everything about this is shit slow, which we're going to do something about someday. But in the meanwhile, we'll let this copy, and then I'll give it a reboot, watch the stuff copy over to the RAM drive, and go from there. All right, copy's done. And if you look at the timestamps, it started at, well, the clock is wrong, but 2307 ended at 2309. It took 2 minutes to copy, 4261K of stuff. Oh yeah, look, it's right there, 61K. I didn't even have to add it myself. But yeah, it is absolutely shit slow. So anyway, I'm just gonna give it a reset, let it reboot, and make sure this stuff copies over to the RAM drive on boot. Alright, we're done rebooting, and looks like the boot script's pretty smart in that it knows what's in the RAM disk already, and it only copies over what's missing. So, very cool. We now have these tools resident in the REU, so hopefully they load pretty quick. So, let's try uconfig, see what it does. Oh yeah, that blasted right up there. Sweet. So there it knows which drives we have mounted. We can set this thing to sync from NTP. Very, very cool. So let's see, what other things can we do? Alright, that's all that's in the uconfig tool. Oh, you can mount E. That's pretty slick. We can probably use the IEC drive, maybe. The built-in IEC SD-ish kind of thing on the Ultimate card. Let's see what that does. So we're going to do target drive E. Oh. No, didn't like that. Oh, there we go. Got to use the arrow keys, just can't type E. Alright, so if we go target E, detection override, blah, blah, blah. Huh. Alright, I have no idea what I just did. How do we set a target for E? Maybe we have to go into the mount program. Yeah, Umount settings, detection override, blah, blah, blah. Alright, let's get out of here. And we'll try Umount next and see if it lets us do something to E. Oh, this is taking a minute. I wonder what it's doing. Maybe I just need to hit a key. Huh. I broke it. Alright, I have no idea. Oh, it rebooted. Maybe it's supposed to do that? Maybe I should read the manual. Alright, we'll let this thing reboot and I'll be back. Alright, we're booted back up. I don't know what I did to crash it, but something tells me I shouldn't screw around with drive E anymore. As far as I know, CPM, at least on the 128, only works with 4 drives, A, B, C, and D. So maybe by screwing with E on this particular distribution of CPM that I'm playing around with, the ZPM modded one, maybe I broke it. Also, this version of ZPM I do not believe is Y2K compliant, so I'm not even going to play around with the clock. I don't think I really care about the clock anyway, but what I do care about is the Umount utility. And it loads pretty fast. Gotta love it. RAM drives are awesome. So it remembers what folder we're in apparently, so it came right up to the /USB 0 001 CPM folder on my USB stick. So we could now mount different things if we wanted to. I have that blank work disk on there, but here we could mount Wordstar Pro or whatever other images we had in here. More importantly in here is the save REU function, because that will help us on cold boots when it wants to copy everything to the REU. So here, let's save REU. We'll just call it CPM, sure. And it is 16 megs, so I guess I gotta hit 7? Or enter. Just enter? Yeah, here we go. Please wait. I don't know how long this is going to take. We'll pause here. No, it wasn't too bad. Only took a few more seconds. So, alright, now we should have a saved REU and a cleaned up boot disk image on A. So, yeah, let's go through the motions of a cold boot here. Oh, and it is not going to boot anything. I have to go back into the config. So come in here, USB, CPM. We want this on A. We want this on B. And I wonder, well, that REU file's up there. So if we just preload on startup, that'll save us some shenanigans in the future. Alright, so it'll load on startup and we'll load it now. Alright. So I don't know what the ultimate, can you automatically set disk images to be mounted on startup? I don't know. But anyway, we have mounted them, so we can just reset or issue the boot command and it ought to just go. And we're not going to need the 40 column screen anymore. And there we go. We're booting again, and it should not have to copy anything to the REU. We'll pause here. Alright, it says no file. So that should mean there were no files to copy to the REU. If we go to the M drive, the REU. Alright, Wordstar kind of play space. A whole ton of free space in there. So that's kind of cool too. You could almost use M0 like a hard drive in that you can copy everything over to it, save the REU file, and just make sure you mount that on boot, and it's essentially a 16 meg hard drive at that point. That's not a bad idea. We should copy lots of stuff there and save it. So, yeah, alright. Is our Umount there? Yep, Umount's there, everything's there, so all good. Alright, so if we Umount, and let's see here, we want our target to be B, and let's mount, this is supposed to be, that's a D71. We're going to have to convert that to a D81. Or better yet, let's just copy all that shit to the RAM drive. That way we'll have it forever in a saved RAM drive image. Because it mounted in D71 mode, so we're going to be a little short on space on that drive. Alright, I guess that's just kind of output of sending commands to the thing? Maybe? Broke it. Apparently if you fat finger an equals sign, you crash CPM? You're shitting me. Alright. Well then. Let's reboot them. Alright, we rebooted. I don't know if the equal sign crashes it or not, but maybe we'll try that again and see if we kill it again. But anyway, it looks like there's lots of subfolders, so to speak. I was able to get up to, what did I do, 10? 16? No. How many partitions can you do? I don't know. I don't know if these are called partitions or what. I really got to do my homework on this thing. But I think if we just go, like, MO is just kind of a workspace. M1s are commands and copies on boots. M2, I guess, could be our WordPro folder, or whatever the hell that thing is called. WordPerfect, Word something. It's a word processor. I don't know. I guess it's famous. But we'll copy that stuff into M2, and then maybe we can give it a fancy name or whatever. I don't know how any of that shit works yet, but we're going to figure it out. So if I go to the B drive, oh, we have to go to B0. That's right. All right, there's that. A Wordstar, that's what it was. Here's all the stuff that was on that Wordstar disk. So let's copy star.star to M2. Alright, so 1571 mode's a lot faster than the 1541 was behaving. These are all tiny files, though. But, alright, we'll let this copy and go from there. Alright, that took a while, but it is infinitely faster than the Pi in 60, or the Pi in D64 mode, or 1541 mode. So now if we go M2 colon, we should have a pile of stuff on there. And we do. So we run Wordstar. It's thinking, I think, yeah. Alright, not terrible. Alright, D, open document. First thing on our list. There was sample1.doc. Yeah, why did it blank the directory out? Oh, it just took forever to rewrite it. Holy crap. This thing is slow. Disk reads are quick, though, because it's RAM. Alright. That kind of works. Wow, that is slow. And see how it's got to redraw the little status bar up top when, I don't know if it tabbed over or whatever, it had to do that, but holy crap. You can actually see the cursor go up and redraw. This is like 9600 baud. Maybe 14.4 if you're lucky. You know, the terminal speed. Which is probably why a 9600 baud modem doesn't want to work. The terminal draws just take forever in a day. So, alright. It works. It loads quickly, but using it is painful. So how do we bail out of here? I don't know. I gotta read the manual. Alright, I guess maybe the save menu, Control K. Yeah, that is painfully slow writing to the screen. Here we go, quit without saving. Get us out of here. Exit Wordstar. Alright, well, it's there, it works, but it's slow. So, all that to say, this thing needs a speed boost. We'll try one more thing before we do that. Let's get back into Umount. And I want to check this out. So I made this D71 with some tools on Linux called CTools. There's videos out there how to use it. Go check them out. Maybe I'll link one. But maybe we'll do a video ourselves, whatever. But it's a pretty simple, straightforward thing. Alright, what does 684 mean? Alright, something crapped out again. That can't be right. And we're locked up. Yeah. I don't know why the hell it does that. Could be something to do with other mods I have in this machine. I really don't know. But, alright, we'll reboot again. Alright, I think I figured it out. I mounted that Zork disk onto drive A, or drive number 8. And that was our system drive, so everything shit the bed. So I will go and remount disks in the ultimate menu and reboot this thing again. Alright, I cold booted, mounted our REU image and our disk images properly this time. And no files copied on boot, so our RAM drive seems happy and healthy. With the exception of the Wordstar stuff, because I didn't save any of that, and that's fine because it runs like ass. So let's see, we should have our Zork stuff here. Cool. Alright, so what we're looking at here, the first file is a .com file. That's this thing called Veza. That's kind of like an Infocom game engine thing. So you have one executable and you can load any number of different Infocom text adventures with it. So we are just going to copy all of this over to M2. And we'll remember to save the REU image this time. And yeah, this is gonna take a minute, so we'll pause. All right, everything's been copied over. Didn't take terribly long, fairly impressive. And I've renamed everything to make it a little more user-friendly. So now that they're on that RAM drive, before I go and screw everything up again, let's go to Umount and save this RAM drive image. And if you notice, when I went in here, it said writing config file again, so I think it's writing a new one every time because I'm in different folders when I run it, or directories. I shouldn't say folder. That's a Bill Gates thing. Anyway, yeah. I should probably remember to just go to the A drive every time I run this so we're not leaving config files all over the place. Anyway, we will save this REU image again. Path doesn't exist. What the hell? Save. CPM. Oh, maybe I have to be... Oh, I need to be in here. Alright, if you're not actually on the USB drive, it won't save. Fair enough. Overwrite, yes. 16. Alright, we're saving. Hopefully this won't take too terribly long. Cue the Jeopardy music. Yeah, there we go. That wasn't too terribly bad. Alright. So on M... Uh-oh. Oh, that is not good at all. M1. M0. Alright, looks like the RAM drive shit the bed when I did something. If we go to A, everything shit the bed. That can't be good. Alright, I don't know what the hell caused that, but here, let's just reboot again and see what happens. Alright, reboot went well at least. Our A drive is alive again. Alright, let's go to M:. Our RAM drive's alive again. With our one little config file sitting there, because I ran it from here at some point. M2 should have the stuff we just copied. It does. So if we run Veza Zork 1.z3, we should have some good 1970s gaming action here. It loads fast, but my god, the screen writes are terrible. Here, let's go north. Yeah, you see when it gets done writing the page, it goes and redraws the status bar up top. It's painfully slow. So, alright. Yes, we want to leave. I'm done with this. All right, anyway. I don't know why the thing freaks out when I use the UTools. Maybe it's something I'm doing wrong. Maybe it's a setting I got to change. I know I played with the Fee2 settings on the Ultimate cart to get it to work in another machine, so maybe it's a timing thing. I don't know. I'm going to have to dig into that. Could be any number of mods inside of this thing, because let's face it, this machine ain't normal. So anyway, I think that'll do it for now. I got to speed this thing up. So here, we can talk about that for a sec. What I'm going to do... where's our screen cap? There we go. So this right here is another beautiful, beautiful, glorious, sexy project by YTMYTM. I believe Machi is how you pronounce his name. I googled it, looked for some Polish pronunciation stuff because I feel bad butchering people's names, but I think Machi is the correct pronunciation. I love this guy. He's done all kinds of neat stuff for the C128, and this is, I think, his latest project, just 3 months ago, where he has done very wonderful things to make the Z80 run basically double the effective speed that it was. And it's just 74 LS74, a GAL, and the Z80 itself on this breadboard that he built over here. He also made KiCad files, and here we'll dig into this stuff at another time. Go check out his GitHub. It's beautiful. There's all kinds of neat stuff in there. But I took his KiCad files and sent them over to our good friends at PCBWay, and I have an order in, and hopefully I will get it soon. I believe it shipped today, but this little daughter board here will pin header, you do pin headers down into the Z80 socket, pop the Z80 onto here, your GAL goes up there, your 7474 goes here, and then I believe it's only 2 bodge wires onto the main board, and that's the original 1 megahertz clock and somewhere around a couple of jumpers to set speed and whatever. Somewhere, oh, maybe it's here. You got to bring in NMI, the 1 meg clock, and then you bring in the dot clock. The roughly 8 megahertz clock. It's 7.88 in PAL World and 8.18 in NTSC land, I think, if I remember correctly. But that winds up being your clock speed for the Z80, so right around 8 megahertz. Granted, it still has to timeshare with the 8502, so every other cycle it'll run at 8 megahertz, which means it should be effectively 4 megahertz, so hopefully double the speed of what we have now. And yeah, I'm looking very forward to getting these boards in the mail and speeding this bad boy up. So I think I'll leave it here because this is very long and painful to do anything on this slow-ass machine, and hopefully it'll be something usable after we jack up the speeds a bit. So anyway, that's that for now, and we'll see you again next time. Take care.